Hello and welcome to the Booze Book Baedeker.
Ooh.
We are so excited. We have guest host Pete today. Pete came back. Yay!
That's right.
Good to be with you.
And we read this awesome book, Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. Well, I loved it. I just flew through it.
Oh, yeah.
I just flew through it. I thought that I was going to read like a real horror kind of gory thing, but it wasn't like that at all. It was just very psychological, you know?
Yeah.
I liked
This is
it.
good horror, not that slasher stuff.
Right. Ira Levin is really kind of ashamed that he wrote this book because it started the whole horror movie cult.
Yeah.
It did. There was actually, the copy I got had the introduction from some guy named Otto Penzler, and he was talking about it was like his most hated moment, or the moment he like released in his entire career as an author, because he was anti-occult and it spawned the horror movie and the occult. And this was supposed to be sort of it's fake, it's made up, it doesn't happen, put it in a dark light, no pun intended, and it kind of had the opposite effect. So apparently he was like, I think the word ashamed came up in there.
Yeah.
But
we loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what we like to read in every author's catalog, their most ashamed book. But, leading to the 12 steps of Rosemary's Baby
Yes.
for October.
Yes, take us through the 12 steps.
Step 1, last minute apartment change.
Woohoo! That's where it all starts, kids.
Exactly. Never make that change. Step 2, baby talks. Because what couple doesn't want to have a baby? Step 3, strange elderly neighbors. Although, pretty friendly, I would argue.
Oh yeah, they're very friendly.
to a point.
Yeah.
Toward the end.
Step 4, I'm an actor. That's Guy,
Yeah, Guy.
Rosemary's husband?
I didn't realize how badly he wanted to be an actor till about
Oh, he's willing to
75%
sell
in.
his soul.
Seemed like he was doing well before that too, so why the change?
Step 5, lose touch with husband. He started hanging out with those weird elderly guys. Step 6, blinded by the light. Guy gets his moment of glory when a competing actor goes blind.
How convenient!
I know. Must be the work of Satan.
Satan, Satan, Satan.
Which leads to step 7, which is actually the same as step 4. I'm an actor. Step 8. This is for you, Damien. What's her name? Terry? Jumps out a window.
Terry, yeah.
Move your steps around. Because that happens
That's
really
fine.
early.
Yeah, that was
It
like...
does.
That was like, okay, we'll give you a pass on that.
These
one.
steps are a little bad. Oh. Because now step 9 is the rape scene / my day with the Kennedys.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was really weird.
When I read it, see, this is how good it was, because she gets pregnant, but I was still kind of convinced reading that scene that maybe this wasn't real. But it has to happen sometime. So, anyways.
If you wrote a rape scene, would you ever publish it?
You mean like Mr. Levin did?
Yeah, exactly. Step 10. Where is that little devil? Rosemary loses the baby.
Whoa.
Yeah. Step 11. Escape!
Yeah, what? Yeah, flip him. Escape.
Fine. Yeah,
And then she loses the baby.
Step
Except she
But then she
doesn't.
escapes again.
But then she doesn't really lose the baby.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that leads to step 12. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan!
Or Andrew.
The guy doesn't seem like an important character. It's not until later that you realize, oh yeah, if he hadn't been in on this, none of this would be happening. So he is pretty pivotal.
I think both went into this as agnostic or atheist, didn't they?
So she grew up Catholic, right?
Right, but had sort of strayed from the church.
Yeah, yeah. She did not marry a Catholic, and that's why her parents didn't want to have anything to do with her.
So what was your favorite, both of you, parts of the book?
I'm so glad you asked that,
Right?
Josh.
I'm very good at questions.
Well, this is gonna sound really weird, but I would have to say the rape scene.
Okay.
Because you didn't know if it was real or not. Like, you knew that she had to become impregnated, but you didn't know if this was real or not. That's how good a job.
I suppose. I feel like 50 Shades of Grey really got to you, though.
What do you mean? Oh, I see. I'm having a book hangover, and that's why
Yeah.
I like the rape scene. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't think that's really what's happening
No,
there, but.
not at all.
Pete?
Well, I was a big fan actually of the last 2 pages because I've never seen it or read it before, and I had some preconceived notion of how it ended, and I was wrong about that. So to see her turn from the very hateful, my God, you stole my baby, I was raped, I had the devil, or whatever, to, oh, okay, I'm going to raise him now.
Yeah.
And bend the will of the coven to, it goes from Hail Satan, Hail Adrian to Hail Andrew, and they're all just kind of like, okay.
And hail Rosemary, mother of
Adrian, or Andrew, as it were.
Mother of Andrew.
So I like that just because it was a surprise based on what I thought the ending was. So, but how she just sort of flowed into the whole. I could be the mother of the devil. That's kind of cool.
Because he does have a cute little chin.
Yeah,
His
claws aren't big enough to hurt me yet.
She just kind of thinks she's questioning her own sanity up to a point. It's not until she tries to make her get away to another doctor that she does the whole trap thing.
Right.
I like how he wrote that scene about how after that one traitor doctor called the bad doctor, oh, that made me so angry. How they were in the back of the taxi and nobody spoke. That was kind of chilling. That was like, okay. And she's in the middle, can't get out, nobody's talking. Ooh. You think that's funny?
Yeah.
The lesson there is, if it's the 1960s, don't trust your OBGYN.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really all there is to it. Because
Yeah.
they'll call people and they'll take you away.
The 13th step.
And do some research on your roots, because tennis root isn't real.
You mean the devil's fungus?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Is tannis root good for babies? This is on a Yahoo questions page. Is tannis root good for babies? And somebody replies, yeah, it's really good. Source, I'm an herbal specialist. Or something. And then the next person who comments
That's legit.
goes, tannis root isn't real, you idiots. That was awesome.
But did you find out what the devil's fungus is? That's what's key.
Wait, tell us about this.
The devil's fungus. Isn't the devil's fungus what they referred to as tannis root throughout the book?
Yes.
Josh is nodding. You're sort of nodding. Yeah, she had that locket that Terry, who threw herself out the window, had previously, and it smelled really bad.
Right.
The doctor, her OBGYN, had it, and everything smelled of tannis root or the devil's fungus. But
Right, because in one of the books someone read it had that. That's how we learned that, right?
I think it was Hutch who maybe brought that into play.
Yeah. Poor Hutch.
Well, Rosemary reeked, so. Poor Hutch. Actually, other than Terry, wasn't he the only person to die in the book?
Terry and Hutch and yeah. Although
Besides
the coven,
Rosemary's spine. Just kidding.
but the coven thought that Rosemary had killed one of the old ladies, and they're like, "It's okay, nobody liked her anyways." And she's like, "I didn't really kill her." That was hilarious. That was hilarious. And what's Roman? He's like, "Oh, I think that's literally in the book." Oh.
That's fine.
Shoulder shrug and all.
She's just really groggy right now. It's gonna be okay.
I'm actually really surprised that there is a second book, even though you can make one, because
Well, first
a
off,
baby was made.
and he just broke or what? Because he said he was so ashamed of this book, and then he goes and makes a
Well,
sequel
right.
decades later. Like,
Did he actually write the sequel himself?
Yeah.
Well, I think he
Well,
died.
what was the timing on that? When did he say, "Oh, I wish it hadn't impacted society that way"?
I
Don't know. Do
Good
not
question.
know.
We'll put it in the subtitles though. We'll Google it,
There you
Well,
edit
because
it in.
clearly Levin had a hangover with this book. He's like,
Absolutely.
"Oh no,
Or maybe it's just his cat.
Freddie
cow.
is my godson."
Yeah, so
I can write something better than what everybody else is putting out, so
Yeah.
why not take a stab at it?
Do you know he also wrote Stepford Wives, which I had read before this? Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of got an eccentric catalog.
And by eccentric, you mean sort of runs the gamut. You know, the
Yeah.
mention of crime mystery, or crime novels, and sort of everything in the introduction I read.
What were
So,
his crime novels?
Can't recall.
Josh,
I don't know either.
come on,
We're going to sit here as Christina reads the introduction
Exactly.
by Otto
Find his-
Penzler, whoever that is.
find his.
Anybody know
Cue the music.
Otto Penzler?
A Kiss Before Dying won the Edgar Allan Poe Award from the Mystery Writers.
Should read that one.
See?
This dystopian science fiction thriller, This Perfect Day. Stepford Wives. The Boys from Brazil. It doesn't say what it is though.
Oh yeah,
What's the Boys from Brazil?
it was like the Hitler is cloned and we're gonna
Oh.
revisit World War II. It was a movie with Dustin Hoffman and
whoa.
Sir Laurence Olivier.
Oh wow! I think
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
amazing, though.
That's a lot faster than the last one I see here, which is Sliver, if you all recall that, one of the Baldwin
Sliver.
brothers, 1981
I have not
film or
read one of
something.
his books completely through, and he is my favorite author.
That's funny how that works. He's really good at intros.
I recommended this book to the book club,
Absolutely.
and I said it would be a good October book because I like hitting two birds with one stone. But we have a pregnant woman in our book club, so
Okay.
it got vetoed.
What do you mean? That makes it more exciting.
Well, one would think.
Baby.
Yeah. See? Is her husband an actor?
This seems like information you would want to have before.
Yeah, exactly.
You put it in the little shower basket, right? This is an appropriate shower basket.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, I mentioned this earlier, but I wanted the Scrabble letters.
That's
Because-
right.
So how she comes to this, she gets this book from Hutch, her good friend, who after the other actor went blind and Guy got his good gigs, Hutch sort of figured out what was going on and was going to give Rosemary this book, but Guy found out and talked to the Coven of Old People, and they
The Coven of Old People.
they stole his glove and put a curse on him, and he winds up in a coma for like 3 months before he dies. But she gets this book he'd intended to get her, and she's going through it and reading about, the history of, I forget the name of the book, but witchcraft and all this stuff, and talks about Adrian Mercato, whatever it is.
If we had the Scrabble letters, we could figure it out.
Yeah, that's how she figured it out, because Hutch says it's an anagram. And she's looking at the name of all these people, and then she figures out Stephen Mercato, the son of Adrian Mercato, who was the devil worshipper, Satan-friendly guy, or whatever. Just
Satan-friendly.
playing with the letters, just puts him in
That's
her...
a nice marketing twist.
It's
Yeah.
Roman
We're
Catholic.
Satan-friendly.
My neighbor. So yeah, Scrabble. It's the letters are good for things other than playing with your friends. 'Cause
Absolutely.
She had kind of an epiphany, is maybe not the right word, but she got it figured out.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
She solved the puzzle.
Even before the coven of old people, mind you, because they're all really old apparently. Even before they blinded that actor and he got those better gigs, he was doing pretty well. It sounded like he got some good plays, and there was some reference to he'd made $18,000 for a few commercials he did for Anison and the residuals. Which
You
was
guys remember
1960s. It's
Anison?
huge.
That's awesome.
I've heard of it. I don't. What is it, like aspirin, only with a different name?
Yeah, it's brand name aspirin. Yeah.
But to make $18,000 off commercial residuals and then like the mid.
And what is that in the mid-60s? Is that like $60,000?
Oh yeah.
It must be, because my dad always said, because he got out of college in '66, that when I graduated from college, everybody except like engineers and doctors and lawyers made like $3,000 a year. He showed me the tax form, like the 1040 back then. It was like a quarter or a third of an 8.5 by 11 page. It was amazing. But yeah, so I mean, they're obviously very well off, and she's just like this. I'm not sure if they'd be considered rich, but of course the Bramford and their giant apartments sound pretty fancy. So,
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, very early on, she was falling into this like I'm going to add stereotypical well-off housewife of sorts. And yeah, while she's not, I mean, she increased her awareness. She's not, didn't come across as ditzy or anything like that. But her actions and what she did on a day-by-day basis, for the most part, other than like figuring out that her husband was in with the occult now. It fit kind of a pattern.
Yeah, I really liked when she spit in his face. That was my favorite part. You asked me what my favorite part was. I lied. It wasn't the rape scene. It was when she spit in his face.
When she spit in whose face?
Her husband's face. Guy's
What?
face.
Yeah. Spit in that guy's face.
Well, that's when she realized that he had been in on it the whole time. She was just like,
But it was her idea to move into that apartment in the first place.
But that's no excuse for him joining the occult. Although okay, so maybe you two can talk about this a little more, but one of the things here was Guy seemed, he seemed to have all these crises of conscience over the was the Branford thing and the blindness and some other stuff that happened. Like, almost like he felt bad about getting sucked into this, but at the end, once she's had the baby, once they've taken Adrian, Andrew, whatever, he seemed to be more at comfort with it all. So, it read, I shouldn't say it read because it said, but it said basically he'd sort of been sucked in and it had been held over his head, a couple of things he did.
oh, I don't remember that at all. I thought he was totally into it because he wanted to be a soulless actor.
He did, but some of the things that the consequences of that, because I read it as Bramford was blinded to help him
The Bramford was the place they lived in.
I'm sorry. Baumgart
Right.
was blinded, so he could do better, and he felt a lot of remorse over that. There was something about hours or days of being remorseful.
Oh, that's right, because he wasn't himself.
Right. He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't himself.
And Rosemary didn't get that. She was like, "Well, that seems like a really dramatic part of the fun." He's an actor. Yeah, it's like a really dramatic response.
Well, that's why it has two of the 12 steps. But yeah, so I mean, he gets this, but then he's forced, it sounds like, to do these other things to, just keep going, because obviously they need a baby, but to keep that happening, Hutch needs to be blinded and whatever else is going on. So it's
no,
hard
Hutch
for
wasn't
me.
blinded. Hutch
I
went into a coma. Woo. It was Baum somebody. Well, I don't even know the guy's name.
It was Donald Baumgart, the actor. I'm sorry.
This guy knows all the names. He
but
really
I can't
did
get
his
them
homework.
straight right now.
And he's smart.
And he's smart.
Baumgart, yeah, he's good. So
You're smart.
I don't know where I was going with this, but I can't tell. Okay, I can't tell
not
at the end of the
important.
book
It's totally
how
important.
Guy falls into all of this, like how he actually feels about all of this in the end, because he had issues with it earlier on, but now it's like, baby's here, it's kind of cute. My wife is warming up to the son of the devil. This coven of old people is really nice, and why not? Like, I mean, he found peace with everything he did. I don't know. Do you guys have any clear sense of that, or?
No, I thought Guy was a real asshole.
Yeah, I did
Oh
too.
yeah, he was.
I thought he was a chump.
I mean, just because you lose some sleep the first 48 hours after this guy goes blind because of you doesn't mean that you're someone that we should identify with and feel, compassion for.
In a book, how are you going to represent if he is or if he isn't?
True. It would be really interesting if Ira Levin would rewrite Rosemary's Babies from Guy's perspective.
Woo!
First person.
No first person. It can be done.
I don't know. It's a classic. And
Yeah,
it's
true.
going to turn out something probably not classic.
That's true. Fair enough. Written by Anastasia Steele.
Was that Grace?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the name of the, I won't call her the heroine, but the main character in.
She's not a hero?
Is it recording?
Sure it is.
Random page selection! Rosemary said, "Did you ever notice that his ears are pierced?" "You're kidding," Guy said. "No, I'm not. I saw." They drank their coffee, talking of Guy's quickening career and of a trip Hutch planned to make in the spring to Greece and Turkey. "It's a shame we haven't seen more of you lately," Guy said when Hutch had excused himself and risen. "With me being so busy and Ro being the way she is, we really haven't seen anyone." That was page 130 out of...
Wait, Hutch had his ears pierced?
No!
She's
no.
talking about Roman's ears. 'Cause,
Yeah.
well, she or Hutch had noticed that, yeah, Roman's ears are pierced. Like,
He must be a Satanist.
So this must be
Well, in
it.
the 60s, a Satanist or a hippie.
But if you're old like that,
Can
you're
we
not going to have
open
your
with
ears
that?
pierced. Here-
Can
here.
that be the teaser for this episode? Josh saying, "You must be a Satanist."
Okay,
Sure.
just say it again. Say it again, just to make sure we got good.
He must be a Satanist.
That's nice. I like that. Okay. Ready? Random page selection number 2.
Woo!
That night, Rosemary awoke and found Guy sitting beside her, smoking in the dark. She asked him what was the matter. "Nothing," he said. "A little insomnia, that's all." Roman's stories of old-time stars, Rosemary thought, might have depressed him by reminding him that his own career was lagging behind Henry Irving's and Forbes Huset's. His going back for more of the stories might have been a form of masochism.
My one question, was he fully dressed while he was sitting on the bed?
I would hope not.
They don't.
Be dressy.
They don't describe it.
Maybe, if you may recall, but through the book it was mentioned later on that he started wearing more and more clothes to bed every night. Rosemary thought it was maybe
Oh, because he was
facade
coming.
or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Whatever, but
So he was
yeah.
probably fully nude, is what you're saying. Because that was page
At the
7.
beginning.
That's the only way to say
Well,
it.
yeah, and they did their thing on the floor. They called it making love. They made love on the floor, on the carpet, on the
You
rug.
make love on Davenports.
Random page selection
Number
number 3. She walked up Park to 81st Street where she found a glass-walled phone booth. She called Dr. Hill. It was very hot in the booth.
Ooh.
A service answered. That's right, that's when Rosemary's trying desperately to get a hold of a non-satanic doctor.
But at the same time, again, reminder, if it's the 1960s, don't trust your OBGYN.
Just don't. It's pointless.
Maybe doctors in general.
Oh my gosh, because they talk to each other. They just think you're crazy. And they're like, oh, dude, you're crazy patients here. Even though you're a Satanist. Hey.
Religious freedom. That's
Fair points on that.
yeah.
Random page selection number 4. For a little while, around 9:30, it looked as if no one was going to come. Guy put another chunk of canal coal on the fire, and they racked the dog's impressions.
Okay.
Shades of Grey is over.
I didn't actually know what that was I was reading. The cannel or the channel coal or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What is that?
I know. Here, hang on.
Good question.
Like, I just have this vision of him throwing briquettes in the fireplace.
Jules Verne would know.
The Kindle. He knows all.
What is canal coal? No, that's not how you spell it, Iris.
According to Wikipedia, the Somerset Coal Canal was a
That
narrow
didn't
canal
work.
in
Also,
England.
I believe Iris is an anagram of Siri, and anagrams factored heavily into
Ooh.
one anagram factored heavily into this book.
I like that.
So, be Christina on a Droid or an iPhone. It's all broken out.
Is a type of bituminous coal, also classified as terrestrial type oil shale.
Woo!
Obviously.
So, like a charcoal briquette.
It's Saudi coil.
Okay. What I'm getting is it burns, and it was big in the 60s
Yeah.
in Branford, so.
Texas gold, Saudi coal.
Way to boil it down.
It heats things.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Random page selection number.
Okay.
What number is it?
It's 5.
5.
Yeah, 5.
5.
Listen. Say listen, Minnie said. Roman's going down. Oh, that's right, Minnie. Minnie was Roman's wife.
Who's Minnie?
I just told
Roman's
you.
wife.
Roman's going down to the cleaner in a while. Do you have anything to go or pick up? No, nothing, thanks. We will see you later. Sure, take a nap. Why don't you? I'm going to bye. She closed the door and went to the kitchen. With a paring knife, she cut the string of the package and undid its brown paper. The book was All of Them Witches by J.R. Hanslet. Now, that book was important because that's when Rosemary really gets her information.
Right. And this
That-
is the book Hutch gave her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
From his deathbed.
willed to
basically.
her.
Yeah.
And then that asshole guy threw it away. Just threw it away. Because he was trying to cover his tracks.
All them witches.
All them witches. It sounds like all them bitches. It was such a funny title. All them witches. Anyway, sorry. It just seemed like a weird title. Doesn't that seem like a weird title? All them witches.
Yeah, it's so weird. I was looking for the anagram in that before I read the next page. And she was like, oh, it's Roman Castevet.
Turning to the 4th chapter, Rosemary glanced over its 20-odd pages. Marcato was born in Glasgow in 1846. He was brought soon after to New York, and he died on the island of Corfu in 1922. There were accounts of the 1896 tumult, when he, I don't know how to say tumult, but I'm saying it like tumult, when he claimed to have called forth Satan Satan,
Oh.
Satan, Satan.
How tumultuous.
And was attacked by a mob outside the Bradford.
Ooh.
Not in the lobby, as Hutch had said. And of similar happenings in Stockholm in 1898 and Paris in 1899. He was a hypnotic-eyed, black-bearded man who, in a standing portrait, looked fleetingly familiar to Rosemary.
Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Foreshadowing.
So why did they pick Rosemary? They only picked Rosemary because Terry threw herself out a window, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what they said too later. She got like cold feet or had some concerns or something. So, and is it really clear that she threw herself out the window, or did maybe some old members of the coven, like 4 of them, because they're all really old, like force her out a window? Let's
freeze on that image for a moment. 4 old people throwing. How old is the?
Probably
19, 18.
Throwing a 19-year-old person out a window in New York. Oh, this window is stuck. We gotta open the window first.
The coven was really old. Apparently they had like some sort
Yeah.
of recruitment problem or something. Guy was the youngest member at 33, and after that it was like people in like their 50s and 60s.
They needed more actors.
Absolutely.
These people weren't even in their 50s. These people were old.
Roman was like 79, I think, something like that, and Minnie I don't think was far behind. So, again, recruitment issues. They were
Recruitment
dying
issues.
off. You got to pass the torch.
It's like the modern day
This is
church,
how.
same issues.
You get Guy and as a side benefit.
And J.D. Salinger.
Wait, what about what?
We gotta pass the torch.
We're gonna do that. We're on that shit.
Yes.
Random page selection
6?
number 6.
Wow.
Who were the Trench sisters? Guy asked, and Rosemary asked, who was Adrian Mercado? The Trench sisters, Hutch said, were 2 proper Victorian ladies who were occasional cannibals. They cooked and ate several young children, including a niece.
That's them. But
There were a lot of
that
them.
was only page 17, so that's kind of, I don't know. That
Yeah,
puts
I mean-
more effect.
There was no wasted detail. I think
Right.
that's one reason I like this book. Nothing was wasted. Everything had a purpose.
Yeah.
Everything had a purpose. Much like a Harry Potter book. Okay, this is how we're gonna close it, guys. Are you ready? What number are we in?
This is
7.
7? 6 or 7?
Well, I went downstairs, but the last I heard,
I think this will be
maybe
6.
6.
I thought you meant episode-wise. So I was
Random page selection
Number random!
7. Then what is it? Have you seen a doctor?
No, don't go in the middle. Don't go in the middle. Go near the end. Go near the
No, I've
end.
been everywhere except the middle.
No, you have been in the middle.
No, I went here.
1, 3,
Okay, we'll
and
do
4
8.
were in the middle. Do
So pseudo
later in
random.
the book.
You
yeah,
want pseudo
it's
random.
not random. It's directed randomness. Go to page 432.
This is how we falsify research in academia.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're after.
So,
Popular culture. Woo!
so the legitimate selection is where Rosemary is telling Hutch that she's pregnant.
Legitimate?
Then what is it? Have you seen a doctor? I suppose I might as well tell you, Rosemary said. I'm pregnant. I'm in my 3rd month. Hutch looked at her nonplussed. That's ridiculous, he said. Pregnant.
Wait.
Pregnant. Shut up!
No, can we-
No!
Can we stop
No!
on the word nonplussed?
No!
Nonplussed.
What about it?
Have you ever seen that in a book anywhere else?
J.K. Rowling uses the word nonplussed.
Does she?
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Really?
Pregnant women gain weight. They don't
I don't
lose
think
it. And they look healthy, not because Rosemary looks like shit. Okay. Random page selection number final.
Rosemary did not look like shit.
Or
At least in the movie.
7.5 or something.
What was that? Mia Farrow or something?
So Rosemary's about ready to look at the baby. Ready? Rosemary, Roman said. Shut up, she said. Before you look. Shut up! You're in Dubrovik. I don't hear you. What the fuck does that even mean? She's all like, da 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 da, I don't hear you. Let her, Minnie said. Except Minnie probably said, let her.
This gives me an idea.
She...
We're going to Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
She watched them until she was by the bassinet, which was angled in their direction. With her free hand, she caught the black covered handle at the foot of it and swung the bassinet slowly, gently around to face her. Taffeta rustled and the back wheel squeaked. Asleep and sweet, so small and rosy-faced, Andy lay wrapped in a snug black blanket with little black mitts ribbon tied around his wrists. Orange-red hair he had, a surprising amount of it, silky clean and brushed. Andy! Oh, Andy! She reached out to him, her knife turning away. His lips pouted and he opened his eyes and looked at her. His eyes were golden yellow, all golden yellow, with neither whites nor irises, all golden yellow with vertical black slit pupils.
Wow.
Thank you.
The pluses for participating in Satanism.
I hear your career
In the
just
context of
skyrockets.
People you don't like or who are getting in your way, they're no longer in your way.
They go blind? Is
They
that
go
what I picked up?
blind.
They die.
They get killed.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have a whole host of other things in store, but you know,
Isn't-
they have good energy drinks for pregnant women.
Well, those all
that's
sound like
key.
positives to me. Those all sound like good things.
Yeah, yeah.
Why wouldn't you say yes?
Because you don't like
It's got
protein
a bad rap.
shakes.
It does have a bad rap. It's not very trendy. The hipsters are not doing it.
I couldn't practice that in Uptown.
Black goes with everything, but all black.
Yeah.
It's not a